Good afternoon. It is August 5th, 2021, and today we're looking at a uptrend, but really kind of just looks like a range with an upward bias. I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't see many shorts in here that I would take. I don't even see many longs really. So not a lot of trades today. Just a lot of things to keep in mind. I walked away from my computer around here and for a couple hours and came back, and we're not really doing a whole lot. It looks like we might make a measured move. This second leg looks a little bigger than the first leg. Oh no, yeah, a little bit bigger. So that looks like a great place to go long on a failed second entry short if we get a good signal bar to go long above here. But it's also going into a measured move of this congestion here, so that might be a little dangerous. But anyway, let's go through these trades. It looks like it might have been low volume for after the morning. So we came in and I drew the overnight highs and lows, and then I drew this trend channel off of these highs, and it actually seems to have held pretty well. We didn't quite come down to the bottom of that channel after this right here, but the midline works out. So I do think this is valid, yeah, and it looks like this failed second entry short would have worked out. It's just too far from the EMA too. But I did like how it's off the midline. We'll check in on that in a bit. Maybe you could have gone short here, but it just looks like an uptrend day. But that is like a triple top, and it's a 1, 2, 3. It's like the fourth test of that price level. So if I were watching this live and I see it gap up like that, that means a lot of people are going long, or at least I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So a lot of people are going long. It gaps up. So that's a second entry short, a fourth test of that price level, and it looks like a triple top. So if you're going to go short anywhere today, I think that would probably be the place to go short. And you can see this failed second entry short right here would have worked. Let's go ahead and draw that trend line, trend channel. And that's something that might have made you a little hesitant to take that trade too. It does look like that's a break outside the channel. But anyway, let's take a look at these trades. So yeah, I drew this trend channel. We weren't too sure if it was going to work, but that midline did look pretty valid. So we get this bounce off. We get a double top here. We get this bounce off the midline. This looks like it might be an important price level. And then we get a higher low. That would be a second entry long because we get a move up, first entry, and then it goes lower before then it goes higher again. And that's a nice signal bar, very bullish to go long above. And yeah, it's a second entry. It closes above the EMA. I got in on a limit order. I came in, I liked that setup, and I came in on this bar, and this bar was actually like way down here, but I really liked that entry, so I took it, and it worked out. It's a second entry long. Here you get a second entry long, but it's not the lowest bar of the swing, and this is congestive right here, so that kind of looks like it's breaking back into that congestive area. And then by here, this just looks way too congestive. But we break out of that. We get I wanted to talk about this because it took me a couple months to understand what is like a double test and a triple test. Look how we hit this price level here. Okay, so we make that new high. Here it doesn't look like we really test it. I wouldn't call this a test because it might have tested that since we closed here and actually touched that. But mostly this bar is not moving down. So when we come down here and then move up again, that's where I look at as like the first test. So before, I used to look at that as a double test, but I don't really think that's a double test. And we'll have an example later that I can point out, that I can talk about. These are multiple tests at that price level. But anyway, we get this big leg up, and I like the look of that, especially since prices have been responding to this midline and the EMA. So we get that, and we get a first failed second entry short off the EMA, a very nice signal bar. I really like that. I think I might have missed this one. I didn't notice that it was a failed second entry short. That's a good entry. And then it kind of looked like this was going to be a spike in channel. And I drew this trend line off of these highs, which usually I don't do, and Mack doesn't. Mack suggests you try and draw off the lows in an uptrend and the highs in a downtrend. But I feel like I've been having to do that a lot the past couple of days. So I drew off these two highs, and I drug it down here. And when we made this signal bar, that looked like it looked like the failed second entry short, but it also looked like a second entry long. And yes, this is the true second entry short here. But look, we make a leg up. It looks like one leg of correction, two legs of correction. So I do like this entry. I did go long there. And then we overshoot that channel if it was ever even a channel, which it did look like one to me. Overshoot it, get congestive, leads to a break. And this here, so I was really happy I spotted this. You get a first, second entry, and this is the second entry long right here. But people are going short here, and that fails, and you get this bar, and I like that entry. I didn't want to take it because I'm trying to learn to protect my capital, and I made two really good trades early in the morning, so I didn't want to take that, but I was watching this live, and I really wanted to take that, so I put this arrow there. And yeah, it works out to be a good trade. It didn't trigger until 2 bars later, so that might make you want to back out, but it felt like a failed failure. So we make a leg up into this congestion, and we test this price level, or we make this new high. You can't go long on this signal bar on a second entry long. We test that high once, a second time. And yeah, the third test is over here. But anyway, we form this congestion. And I was looking at this because it looks like we're in an uptrend day. You know, it's not too strong though, because we're really only, this is a couple hours after the open, and we're only 6 points above the overnight high. So that's something you got to keep in mind. It's not really a strong uptrend, even though it is an uptrend. So we get this. It looked like a first entry, second entry long here, and I did not take this, but I was glancing at my computer screen, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, I would probably take that. But you make a double top here, and Mack always says that resets the count, so that would really be a first entry. So that's something that might keep you out of it. Also, this isn't a break out of congestion. I have my lows drawn right here. So that's not really a breakout of congestion. Maybe you would take a signal bar like this. So that's another reason to keep out of it. And another reason to stay out of it is this double top right here. And that does make this right here a failed second entry long. I don't know if you can go short there or not. We'll see what Mack has to say. But that is a failure right there. And that would have gotten you a nice move down. But anyway, we make this leg down. We hit that measured move, get a little bit of a bounce. And then we hit the overnight highs and we bounce. That's a pretty big bounce too. That's actually a second entry long. But the signal bar I don't like that signal bar. Plus, it's not really a convincing close outside of the trend channel. But we make this leg up. First entry, second entry. So this is the second entry short, and this is like the first, second, third, fourth test of that price level. So, like I said earlier, I think if you're going to go short at any point today, I think this is where you do it, especially when you see this gap up and you got all these eager traders jumping in. Yeah, so we get kind of like a small spike and channel down. That's just the first entry. So you can't go short there. Plus, that's like 5 overlapping bars. And yeah, so I forgot to talk about this. This is just the first entry. That is a higher low, though. So you might go long here. Because this, to me, clearly looks like an area of congestion. So this is a break back into congestion. So, you know what, I'm going to mark that. So yeah, we break out again, come back in, break out again, and that fails. And we just made this leg higher now. It looks like it's getting some correction after the close. Yeah, there's a first entry, failed second entry short here. Off the midline, but I think that's too far away from the EMA, and also it's after a break of this channel, so I don't know. I don't think you can take that. But anyway, let's take a look at the trades I took today. So I was satisfied with both the trades I took. Like I said, I got in on a limit order here. So I got a really good entry. It's a second entry long off the midline of both the overnight highs and lows. It's like yeah, it's a second entry long. Looks like it might be a break back into this congestion area too. And yeah, it would have worked. Even if you entered one tick above this, it would have worked. So that's probably, all these people probably exited when they scalped out right here, and that's what brought it back down. But that would have been the low point of the day. But you really wouldn't get much if you held on to that. So yeah, second entry long, I'm okay with that trade. I didn't spot this first failed second entry short, but I do like that. It's also like a breakout pullback. And it looks like you have room to these highs. And then we get what looks like a two-legged pullback. First entry, second entry. And it kind of looks like a second entry long as well as a failed second entry short. And it's off the trend line. So I like this entry too. And those are the only two trades I took today. So, a good day, and I'm glad I practiced not over trading, because that's something I need to work on. So, I'll be back tomorrow.